Here we go with plate 2 on week 4. I'm starting a new drawing. Again, I'm going to set up my drawing area. Just to mock up what it is. I'm going to go to that design center. Let me pretend that it's not even open. DC for the design center. Open it up, and you can pull in everything you need all at once, but I'm not. I'm going to get them as I go. So I'm going to do my layers first. So I've highlighted the layers I want. Hold the mouse button down, pull it in, and voila, they're there. This one is on. Yes, and you can make it a template also. So the difference, so Stephen goes, oh, I just made mine a template. The difference between using it this way and a template is if you open up your drawing from the template, you've got everything. And this might grow to have your civil layers, your architectural layers, many, many dim styles, many, many layouts, many, many blocks. They're all there in your drawing when you open it from a template. I worked with the city of Sacramento lighting. They did all the traffic lights, the traffic people. Their template, this was back in the early 90s, was something like, it was gargantuan. They had something like 1,500 blocks in it and 200 layers and 75 title blocks. And they were doing that same thing, and it was very cumbersome for them. And you can imagine every time you save a drawing, saving all that, what would happen to your file system? So many companies use templates, DWT file, and many use this design center idea where you just pull in what you want from your template. We don't really care. They're both very valid ways to do it. I happen to normally teach using the design center. Okay, so now I can go ahead and start my drawing, which means I've got to get a copy of it in here. So I'll put plate 2 in here. There we go. Okay. So I see there's a set of circles that are 6 apart, and a set of circles or arcs that are 3 and 7/8 apart. I'm going to use construction lines again. There's my 6. Now I'm going to draw a bunch of circles. And so this one knows the radius. This one knows the diameter. So I'm going to do some radii first. So circle radius 13/16. Copy, just because I have the copy command down pat. Now I need to draw a line at 30 degrees. It's 3 and 7/8 long. I better check my polar tracking. 30 degrees. 30. 3-7/8. I did it just like it says. And that's where this stuff all hangs out. Now I have some diameters to put in. Diameter. This is the diameter of 1/2. Nine sixteenths. Oh. And I can copy that. Now, the interesting thing is, where is this thing? This is also at a line that's at 15 degrees. Also 3 7/8. And this little thing copies down here. So I've got all my big target points kind of laid out. So I can change some of those now to geometry lines because I know that those are pieces of geometry that I'm going to use. And I can start drawing. So this one down here goes all the way, oops, I'm going to start drawing on my geometry layer. Now I got some cool things to do. This is an arc that goes from here all the way down to here, and then there's a fillet. So that's an arc, and I know the center. I know the start, and I know the end. Center, start, end. Center is here. Start is here. The end is, I don't actually care where the end is because I'm going to do a fillet. I don't even have to go all the way. And the same thing's going to happen here. Center, start, end. I think I need to do some trimming now. Oh, no. There's another center, start, end. Center, start, up. Center, start, end. And do get down to that intersection. Center, start, end. Okay. Now here's the big trick, and this one had Steven kind of like, what the heck? This just says it's a radius, and it goes perfectly tangent to perfectly tangent. That's a fillet. So I can do the fillet command with a radius of 3/4. Up, and I lost part of a line. So this one is a fillet with the radius of 1-1/4, 1 1/4. So now my part is almost done. And so now I just need to do some trimming. Cool. I have the part. If any of you grew up with the He-Man cartoon, I have the power. That's coming back, by the way, on July 20th. A new version on Netflix of He-Man and She-Ra and Battle Cat and Skeletor. Has nothing to do with this project, but it's fun and cool. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in my center lines. And I'm going to do it in kind of a cool way. I'm going to do that center, start, end way again. There's that one. And then I can just change these three to center lines. Now I've got some center lines, but they're a little short. That's the lengthen, DE, and I'm going to lengthen 1/8 at a time. And I know that's not very much. I just keep clicking on it 1/8 at a time until it gets out there past it. Oh, that one I did too many times, but that's okay. And then I can do the same thing on this one. The bottom circle, let me look at that again. The bottom circle was the center of which arc? This arc? Is that the one we're talking? Oh, right. Okay. That's from this right over here. I see that the center mark for all of this stuff is on a line that traces back at 30 degrees right to that center. And the same with this one. There's the center mark of this little circular set, and it traces back right to the center of that. And this one is the other giveaway. So they did it in kind of a couple of places. 3 7/8 back to there. This 1/2 inch gave me the clue, since it's 1/2 inch all the way across. That's what gave me the clue that this was a 1/2 inch diameter circle here and here. This one was called out. This one was called out. And these were called out. So yeah, and of course I've drawn this like many hundreds of times, and yeah. So there we go. Got it. Now I can now go and get ready to put this on a layout. I can get rid of that too if I want. And so there was that layout thing again. I want to find a layout. And it's mechanical A. And I'm going to go ahead and do the depth points again and make a rectangular layout. Corner to corner. And I want that to be 1 to 1. Now there's things I can do to make these center lines look a little bit bigger. Let me do this. First of all, I'm going to do that. So that's as big as it can look. I'm going to get rid of that. Where you're looking at it, unfortunately, does have a little bit to do with the scale it comes in at. And that has to do with how it's going to present these scales. So you want it kind of as close. So let me get that back to 1 to 1. There we go. Now I'm back at a 1 to 1 scale. And you can see that these center lines did a little bit better. So that's just a little bit of a trick. I got a little bit more work to do to get this right, but I'm going to go on to yeah, circles and trim work just as well as arc. That's Stephen suggested using circle and trim. Yes, and I'm not sure if either one is faster than the other, but this gave me an opportunity to show the arc command, the center, start, end arc command. So that's what I did on this one. Okay, so now I let me come back and see what my dimensions are going to need to look like. Fractions. They're all fractions. So I need a dim style that's called fractional. Well, there it is. What do you know? Click, drag. Now, if I go to my annotate, I see fractional. And I can make sure it's on the dimension layer. Now I just have to go about doing some of this. So linear. Now, this is interesting. I don't want to go to the center line. I actually want to measure to the quadrants. And the reason for that is you do want this little gap. Because then when I center mark this, that's actually where I wanted to go to. It really looks nice. Now, I'm not going to take any points off, but that's just a really cool thing. Now, to do a angular dimension. Now, these are over here on the Home tab, too, by the way. I'm just in the habit of going to the Annotate tab. Just a habit. Radius. Uh-oh. It's 7/8. My fractional thing might not be right. Let me go look. I'm going to go look at that modify and see. Oh, it's only to the nearest eighth. So I have to change it to 16ths. And now I'm rocking and rolling. I think I'm going to put this one up here. I think I'm going to put this one out here. I think it just looks better. Now, this is a tricky one. It's called aligned. And just hit the midpoint and the midpoint, and you'll get it. Then you can click on it and drag it out. And see how that becomes a nice, clean drawing? And even if I want to, I can get this to move up just a little bit. That's a much cleaner drawing. Back to radii. Now I have a diameter. Now, this thing, we don't say drill anymore. That went out in the 80s. That shows you how long this has been around. And you don't say 2 holes. You write. So here's what I did. I'm going to zoom in on this. I double click it, and the text comes up, and I use my right arrow key, and then I type 2 times space. Machine Tools read that, and they know. Machine Tools read that the 2 times. But that one wasn't the one that needed. Oh, I did that one all wrong. So let me get rid of that. I did the wrong one. I was supposed to do the hole. And it'll recognize this other one then. Oh, I need another angle on here. This one can be hard to get. Let's see if I can pick it up. I did. So I think I've got them all. That's a pretty clean drawing. And I better save this now, by golly. Plate 2B. There we go. Save. And again, I can do my print, plot a single sheet, use the default, go to my previous. Let's see how it looks. Looks pretty nice. I can take my snip. There we go. And that's essential, and I'll plot it. What the heck? So yeah, the arc commands are kind of interesting. You should know that they always want to draw counterclockwise unless you go into your profile settings and change that. So when I do center start, the end has to be counterclockwise. If I try to come over here, it'll try to draw this big old long weird thing. Okay, so if that's the case, you have to go start, center, end. Okay, so there we go. That's